There are a lot of times when you have to read a book and you realize that when start to reading a book, you have to understand it, what it is about. When let me catch my breath, I just hit workout. So the thing is, if you want to read a book, when someone let's say your friend suggests you, or you hear on some YouTube video about any book, so how does you can how does you know about what is it should you really want to read it or not? What is the best way to find the book is reading for you or not, is worth it or not? Because nowadays we have a lot of things, so it's better to read great books, not kind of every book you should read, because there are a lot of stuff. So and we have minimized time, and we have to focus on other things too. So that's the very important thing to understand, that if you read every book and every time and try to gain knowledge from every book, your life will be not be as, because there are a lot of things different from books. Like some book will tell you do the hard work, some will tell you do the smart work. So you will kind of feel stuck when what that you should hear and follow. So I will show you. The thing is, when I was starting to reading a books, what mistake I should do, and what is the mistake kind of lot of people do. Like you are the that person too. It can be vary, but the thing is, when I was start to reading a books, the mistake I did was, when someone recommends a book like Rich Dad Poor Dad, so I kind of get an idea about that. But some books are like getting over head, like essentialism and some other type of books that you doesn't hear about and doesn't have any context about that. In the first, there, what's called the book's name, you can easily find out that its book is good or not in sometimes. But I will show you exact method. So when someone, you just want to read a book, so someone suggests you, or you kind of find online and you want to read it, so how does you can find it? So you can oftentimes just read books, and I also did that. And we oftentimes just like neglect the content they are given, like there does not nothing exist in this world. So I just did that too. Like when I was read a book, I just ignore everything, like introduction, contents, and disclaimer, everything, and just start reading book. So that's kind of good to me for in some ways, but reading a whole book is like wasting your time than giving some minutes to just reading contents. So first of all, make sure to get an idea from the book's name, what is book about. If you're not getting the idea, or it's going over your head, so and you doesn't understand what's the meaning of that the book's name. So then next go into the contents, and there are a lot of things like they reveal about like what is in the book, everything in some books. And some books are like they just not given proper contents, just they just want to read a reader to read a book. So that's why they, it's kind of like tricky and try to hide the contents, what's in the contents. So they just write in a way that you have increased the curiosity to read book. So some books are like that. So in that books you should read first pages of 2 or 3 paragraphs of that book. So we'll notice that if you still want to read that book and you still have curiosity to read that book, that means you should read it. That's how you define it's worth reading or not. And if you at that point you feel like giving up or you doesn't get interest in that book, just quit it, bro. You won't regret it, because we all not lot of time I my gallery is full of thousand of books names, bro. I doesn't have time to read it. So if I did that in previous time, so I have not wasted a lot of time on that kind of books that I regret. But I'm grateful for that. I understand what the meaning of that and the lessons I learned from the book. How to read a book. A specific name of a book is How to Read a Book by Adler Reed, something like that, by Adler anything. I doesn't remember the author's name, but it's Adler and something. Yeah. So remember, when you want to select what you should read a book or not, just read a title of the book. If you get an idea like Rich Dad Poor Dad, so they will, I can guess that they will tell us difference for what rich people do or what poor people do. So I, if I had curiosity to read book, so I can read it. So if now I just want to like it's valuable information, but I don't have uh, like I don't have now curiosity to read about rich and poor, but I want to that knowledge too. So I will keep in library when I want to read about rich and poor. So I will read when I had curiosity. But now my curiosity is like physical fitness. So I will read about that stuff. When I had curiosity to read about how to make friends, so I will read that books. So that's how you will kind of save library. In library you're like get a screenshot of that book's title or write in a book in notebook and write in pen on paper. That's the way to collect books names. And what I was doing was first get check title of the book, so you can get idea. If you're not getting an idea, so make sure to read the contents. If still you don't get an idea from contents, and if you get an idea and you want to quit, so quit. If you don't get an idea, so read about at least 3 to 4 get paragraphs. So if you get an idea, then read. Otherwise don't, bro. I made a mistake. I don't want to announce that book name, but it's like useless for me. It's just kind of nothing I can say about that book, because it's just I read it like if I get an knowledge in the middle of the book and the end of the book, it's useless, bro. Nothing get it, because I don't have curiosity and I don't want that knowledge too. It's useless knowledge. So don't make that mistake. I can say that you will also make that mistake. I see a lot of people make mistake like they just neglect the contents and start reading book directly and read it until it finish like cover to cover, but they doesn't get an idea of it should I'm getting a knowledge from it or not. They don't think about it, so don't be that person, bro. Don't be like me when I was starting reading books and waste no don't waste your time on that stuff that you are not curious about and don't want to knowledge in that particular area. If you want to get knowledge but you don't have curiosity or don't have energy to right now, so you can do it in the future, like on other times when you want to, but don't do that mistake and think for take a time to think about things like it's really worth reading or not before starting to reading directly and finish the whole book and then realize that it's worth the meaning of reading that book. It's worthless. So that's all. I hope you get a lot of information. Your body will not betray first. Keep going.